Do you have an emergency plan for when your emotions go crazy? When you get triggered and you're in a really high emotional state? Do you have an emergency plan? So if you think about it, in many areas of life, we have emergency plans for emergencies. We have fire drills. We have earthquake drills. We learn stop, drop, and roll for if you catch on fire. In first aid, you've got your CPR ideas and like, this is the steps that you go through. And we learn it and we practice it and we practice it and then we practice it for the event if an emergency happens. More often than not, we're not placed in those situations. We don't have to deal with an actual fire or an earthquake or help someone with first aid. But we practice it, we practice it, we practice it. So with your emotional and mental health, do you have an emergency plan for when there is an emergency? When mentally or emotionally you're in danger, your emotional and mental life is threatened. What's your plan? This is something that's important for you to have. This is what we talked about in my groups today at the gel, is we talked about the importance of having this plan. And so there's a couple things that you can do. There's distractions, so if you think about first responders when they go into an event, what are some things, some characteristics that help them manage their stress? So it might be being able to be calm. It might be being able to think objectively, take a few deep breaths, be able to have the self-discipline, to be able to be aware of what's going on, know yourself, know what your strengths are and your weaknesses, and know that cravings and things are going to happen in your emotional and mental health. There's going to be stuff that happens, you're going to get triggered. And so if you recognize, okay, first off, this isn't going to last. The average emotion only lasts 90 seconds. So you can self-talk your way through it. You're like, okay, this will pass. I've got this. I can get through this. And so that's one thing you can do. You can also just pause, take a deep breath, and then think. So those are a couple things that you could put into your emergency plan for when you're mentally or emotionally challenged. Take a deep breath, pause, breathe, think, use affirmation, self-talk to help you get through it. Recognize that it will pass. It will pass. It may feel like the end of the world right now in this moment, but it will pass. So as you remember the patterns, that life is a series of ups and downs, mountains and valleys, it will pass. So you can tell yourself, okay, I can get through this. It will pass. Pause, breathe, and think. Talk to people if you need to. Surround yourself with loved ones. If you're in a spot where you don't know what to do, reach out to someone and say, hey, I'm really struggling right now and I just need to talk. Find people that you can talk to. Find things that you can do to help you. It might be you need to distract yourself. Just go do something else. Go take a cold shower. Do something to pull yourself out of the energy so that time will pass. Okay? You are a miracle. You have a purpose. Your life has value. You matter, and you do make a difference. And so just like we have in CPR, fire drills, earthquake drills, all these other plans, it's important for you to have an emotional and mental plan for when disaster strikes, when emergencies happen. You were worth it. You were valuable and precious. If you've got something that works for you, go and list it in the comments. What do you do? What is your plan? And share that, because there's many of us here that could benefit as we share our ideas with each other. So share in the comments below, what's your emergency plan for your mental and emotional well-being? And remember, I'm here at Hope to Cope every day with a message of hope to remind you that you are a miracle, that you have a purpose. So thank you for being you. Thank you for being here with me today. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.